Okay, good morning, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to Saturday training for Bueller and Friends. This is our business success training, and it is March 9th, 2019. And so we thought we'd start out today and see if anyone has just something that they are bursting with excitement to share about their business. And I should say quickly first, April Reynolds and Brenda Lowder are your co-hosts for this training. So that gave you a second to think. If you do, go ahead and unmute your line and come on and share.
There. Hi, did I connected on my guest, Karen? I would like to share what happened with me.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is Diane Helmold from Chicago, and so Rosemary Bell was on my Bucks and Beaches Monday night call on, well, just this past Monday, and she said that all she says to people, she doesn't come in and hose them down with what she has and how it could help and blah, blah. And she just says, after she asks, well, what's wrong? You know, how long have you been dealing with that? And then she'll ask a lot of questions. And she'll say, are you looking for a solution? And then she kind of lets the ball in their court, and it goes where it goes. Well, yesterday I was out to lunch with two new ladies I met here in Vegas. We went to Boulder City for lunch, and this woman didn't remember if she took her medication, and she's like, I don't know if I should take this now, if I already took it. I said, oh my gosh, she had all these bottles coming out of her purse. I'm like, how often do you take all this? She goes, oh, twice a day. And then the other lady said, oh yeah, she's a mess. She's on a lot of meds. And I was thinking about Rosemary Bell, what she said on the call on Monday. She said what she said, and I said, my goodness, how many do you take, Eula? And she was telling me, and I said, wow. I said, is your goal to get off of all of this? And I said, you want to get off of this, right? She goes, well, yeah. And I said, are you looking for a solution? Just what Rosemary Bell said. It just like came out of my mouth. She goes, well, yeah, what are you talking about? And I said, I've been on something for 25 years, and you really need to hear about it. And I pulled a flyer out of my purse because Tommy and Vail Moody are doing an event here in Vegas next Friday. And I said, you really need to go to this. Whether or not you feel it's for you, I don't know, but you need to get educated on this company that could really help you with this. And I said, Kelly here is going. Kelly, you need to pick Eula up and take her with you. So I'm very excited. I believe they'll be there.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. And I love that. Are you looking for a solution? That's perfect. Very good. Thanks, Diane. Okay, we have time for another one. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody?
Hi, this is Yvette. Can you hear me?
Hey, Yvette. Yes, you bet.
So I've been plugging along, and last month I didn't see a lot of results, but I had been doing a lot of follow-up and a lot of work with people. And then some things just came together at the beginning of March. And so I signed up 3 new auto ships at the beginning of the March, and I have a new lady who's looking for a business. And so I'm very excited. We're meeting with her on Monday. But so I was excited because of the 3 new auto ships gave me 6 more points, and I contacted Diane. And then on Facebook, I noticed it was 3 and free, and my name was there. And I went, oh my gosh, I forgot that I would get the credit for that. Anyway, so it was kind of exciting because, you know, you put in a lot of follow-up and work and building that rapport and getting people educated. And then it kind of all came together at one time. So that was kind of exciting.
Oh, that's excellent. Thanks for sharing that, Yvette. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to move on. And the first thing, I'm going to go ahead and share my story, but I want to put out the disclaimer that Relive doesn't make any claims. Relive products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Relive products are intended to provide balanced nutrition for a healthier lifestyle and overall well-being. And so I'm Brenda Lowder, and I live in Gresham, Oregon, and I'm a retired neonatal intensive care nurse. And I was in a car accident, and I suffered a pretty significant neck injury and had surgery and basically lost the use of my left arm, and that was for 3 years. I started then on the Relive products, and I'm happy to say that things improved, and I do have function of that left arm again. Then I had like a hyperthyroid explosion, and the beauty of the stories is that I was able to talk to another distributor who has hyperthyroid, and by listening to what she's done, I was able to tweak my products, and even to the amazement of my doctor. I've had help with allergies, energy, sleep, and so I definitely love these products. I embrace the business, and I truly look forward to seeing everyone at Relive Live in April. And so with that, I would like to introduce my co-host, April Reynolds.
Thank you, Brenda. I'm April Reynolds. I am recently relocated from Houston to Spanish Fork, Utah, and I'm loving living here. I have been with Relive for 6 years now and have had just great help. I wasn't expecting to get help. I came in for the business, and I thought, well, if I'm going to provide this to other people, I should take these products myself. And little did I know what would happen for my health. I was able to take care of a problem with some arthritis and trigger finger, both in my hands. I had been set to have 2 surgeries, one for each of those conditions. I never had to have either of those surgeries, which made me very happy. I got through having shingles, which without the ongoing nerve pain that can go on for months or years that many people have. I was able to get on top of an irregular heartbeat issue without the medication that my cardiologist had. And when I had kind of tweaked up what I was taking and went back for a recheck, he was just shocked and said, "You just keep doing what you're doing." And I went, "Oh, I will." I had been taking thyroid medication for well over 10 years. And after I'd seen what it had done with other people and had been on it really regularly for a period of time, I weaned off of it, and my doctor said, if this doesn't work, we'll just get you right back on. And he rechecked me, and he said, your thyroid is functioning perfectly now. And that was like 4 years ago, and every time I go back for a recheck, it's just where it should be. I'm just thrilled to be able to see all the changes it's made for my life, but also helping other people to be able to see and help them with my business as I've reached out and helped them to see what the products can do for them, for my mom, for friends, for people within my church. It's just been really, really thrilling to help that and to help them get a vision for that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started here with our training, our business success training. And the question kind of comes to itself, well, how do we start? Sometimes it seems overwhelming. You're like, okay, I'm excited about these products. I'm excited about the business. Well, the best way to get things done is just simply to jump in and begin. And when we go to begin, then we have the circle of success that are various key steps that we can just do over and over again that will help us move forward with our business. These are the daily fundamentals. Identify, connect, share the story, ask for a decision, register, and go. And the key thing is to take action now. And so we're going to go through each of these steps and kind of talk through them and see what we can do to help clarify what those mean to each one of us. Brenda?
The first one is to identify. And with identifying, for the benefit of those that maybe are not on the computer, I will read a few of the things that we have on here. But the first one is to kind of start with groups. And so you want to write down the categories. For example, your family, including in-laws, your job, if you have a current job or a former job, children, parent groups, neighbors, again, current and former, school. Are you still in connection with grade school, high school, college friends? Hobbies. What do? You do crafts, cars, tools, computer, travel. What are some of the things that you're into? And then there's clubs. So boating, book clubs, games, animals, scouts, other associations, sports. And sports opens it up a whole new realm because there's like sports and then there's virtual sports. So baseball, basketball, bowling, football, golf, exercise classes, your social networks, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and then other groups that you can identify. So you can write down the first names of those persons in the group, you know, or you can write down first and last name, just depending. This is just the beginning of how you start your list. And one of the things that you can do is to build your list, you know, with your sponsor, because when you're kind of building a list with someone else, you have less tendency to prejudge. We say don't prejudge. And go ahead and move on to the next slide, April. Thanks. So then more ideas for your list. And then think of others that you know. And then these, you know, hint, hint, it says see a pattern, alphabetical. Think about different things that you are doing or where you're going that you might have made a friend or that you could utilize an opportune moment, and then remember that person's name and write them down. So a banker, builder, car dealer, coach, dentist, doctor, fitness coach, grocery store clerk, your hairstylist, a housekeeper, your insurance person, lawyer, mailman. So the list goes on. So you can see that there are lots of ideas for you to build a list. And then you want to think of who you will connect them to and why. And take immediate action with your sponsor, because taking action and consistency is the key. You always want to be adding to your list. And you want to, you know, kind of build around your center of influence. And go ahead, April, one more. So after you've made that list, maybe you're thinking, am I thinking of this person for the product? Am I thinking of this person for the business? Again, why you thought of each person, and then how you're going to initiate that first contact. And you'll notice in our circle that follow-up is in the center, and follow-up is in the center because you follow up at each step. So who are the first people that you're going to, first 5 that you're going to contact? Who are you going to talk to today? Always have new people to talk to. April?
Okay, so the next step is connect. So you look through the 20 prospects along with the guidance of your upline and say, okay, who's first? And you decide to, you know, contact them and share your excitement why you thought of them, you know, because some people are like, oh, I don't know what to say. And I know Diane just shared something great as far as having them, you know, reaching out to them and helping them to see if they are, you know, truly interested and wanting to do something about it. Let them know why you thought of them. And when you use your why, as you let them know why you thought of them, it lets them know that you care. You're not just saying, I have this great business and I want to tell you about it and I think it will be good for you. Because that's all about I. We want to have it be something that is more about them. And that shows a sincere interest in them. And the point is to not stand there and tell them everything. I made that mistake when I was in the beginning. I would be so bubbly with excitement. I would just go on and on and on. I think some people are like, oh, back off. So we just want to say, hey, there's not time to go through it now. Let's set up a time we can get together and we can go through this a little bit more, and I can help you understand more what it's about. Now, there's different situations that I know we've talked about in Relive and other trainings, or things that I know I've run into several times of how to connect in a certain situation. That, we've talked about meeting up at soccer games, or maybe someone's recently moved, or maybe someone's complaining like, oh, it's a pain to get older because blah, 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 or whatever, or they're talking about they're kind of concerned about how they're going to pay for college or a wedding for a child, or they're talking about how they'd really like to stay home with kids. So I would like to invite someone in our group here, if you wanted to unmute yourself, and let's just kind of go through a little kind of extemporaneous role play. If you want to select one of these, and you could either choose to be the person who has the concern or the person who is with Relive, and maybe just kind of see if we can go through a scenario or two of how somebody might approach a person that maybe would fall in one of these categories. Is someone feeling brave and they want to jump in, and maybe that you've done one of these kind of approaches before, and you'd like to be the one to reach out to me as the person learning about Relive, or vice versa? Would someone like to join up and walk through one of these just to kind of help us to see how this could play out? If you do, star 6 if you've muted yourself. Thinking. Well, Brenda told me she'd do it with me if we had people that were feeling kind of shy to do this.
I'll be the brave one.
Okay. So do you want to be the Relive distributor? Or do you want to be
whatever you want.
Go ahead. So which one would you like to role play?
Either one, whatever you want.
Okay. How about I'll be the person learning, and I'm going to be complaining about getting older. So, so you're my friend, and I'm saying, oh my goodness, it's just frustrating. It seems like the older you get, everything just starts falling apart. I need medication for this, and my back is aching, and I go to hold things, and my arthritis is flaring up. I don't know. What do you do?
Okay, so your name is it April?
Yes.
Brenda. April, okay.
April,
how long have you been feeling like that?
I don't know. It's been coming on probably for the last 8 or 10 years, but it's just frustrating. I mean, it just, I guess it's part of life, but, it just is annoying.
I know after you turn 40, they say it's when, and I felt it myself, that what the heck happened to my body, and
exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. I know, April. Well, what are you doing about that? Are you into alternatives?
Well, I haven't done much. I've talked to my doctor about it, and he said, yeah, they have the arthritis strength, aspirin that you can take, but I don't really like to take it that much, and so I just kind of try to deal with it. I don't know. I guess I'm in the boat with everybody else, right?
Well, I'll tell you, you can be in a different boat, April. Are you looking for a solution? Seriously, are you?
Well, I guess if there was one, I just figured, what do you do other than throw a bunch of medication down you? And I don't want to do that. Okay,
then you need to hear about something that has been helping me and blessing me for 25 years.
Really? What is it?
What's your schedule look like? Let's say set something up. Let's go for coffee. What are you doing if we're over the phone? I'd say, what are you doing right now? Do you have 15 minutes? Usually I like to kind of just drop it and then start a new phone call, because what happens when you keep going, April, is now it's like you've been on the phone for 25 minutes and they're like, oh gosh, I was on so long with her about Relive, when really it wasn't. It was like maybe the last 5 minutes. So I would say, I really have to catch another phone call, but can I call you back? What's your schedule look like today for 15 minutes? And have that sense of urgency, not like throw it out there like, when are you free? No, when are you free today? 15 minutes. You really need, I'll set some time aside and I can give you 15 minutes. You need to hear about this. Let's set it up. And then I make a new phone call.
Oh, that's awesome. And in the 15 minutes, what do you present in that 15 minutes once you call back?
Well, I'll say, April, is this still a good time? You have 15 minutes. You always want to ask that.
Mm-hmm.
Is this still a good time, April?
Yeah.
Okay. April, I feel like I've been blessed that I have to share this with you. And shame on me if I don't when I hear what you're going through with your health. So I found a company that's blessing lives in 2 prayers of today, health and finances. Let me tell you what it's done for my health. I was an exhausted mother at 34, overwhelmed with life with 3 sick kids, constantly visiting ERs, midnight trips to Walgreens. And I'd have to take the 3 of them with me because it would undoubtedly happen when my husband was at the firehouse for 24 hours. I was out of my mind. I was losing it, catching fast food whenever I could. And, I couldn't take it anymore. And I was praying to God for an answer. And guess what? My friend had called during my prayer time. It was probably the lowest of my low. And I said, Lord, if this is all you have for me, I can't go on. I'm an educator. I'm not reading anymore. I know I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but my husband working 90 hours a week is killing me and our whole family life. And the phone rang and my friend said, what are you doing? Do you got a minute? And it was weird because April, we hadn't talked in like 6 months. We both just had our 3rd baby. And so I thought, is this a sign? This is weird. And I said, well, I'm doing nothing, Peg. I'm trying to get to sleep. I'm going to take a nap. She goes, well, you got to come to my house at 12 o'clock and come hear about this company that's blessing lives in 2 prayers, health and finances. She goes, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. And I asked her, what is this, Peg? What are you talking about? She goes, I'm not going to tell you. Just come over. And she goes, I got to go. She goes, I want to see you here at 12. Have some lunch. We can reconnect. Kids can get to reconnect. We can see each other's new baby. And I said, okay. I don't even know why I said okay, but I did. And so I went to her house and that changed my life. I got on the product and guess what? In 6 months, I was off all meds and all worries with my issues and the children, ADD, eczema, ear infections. My husband was healthy. You don't need to be sick to be on Relib, but guess what? He got off all his allergy meds and his meds for headaches. And we were a pain-free family. And in 2 years, I delivered a healthy baby. And I had 5 miscarriages. It was a miracle baby. And guess what? I turned around. I turned it into a business. In 2 years, he left his side jobs. He's been home now 23 years. Fast forward, the kids are 24 to 30. They have that day-to-day wellness. They still take the products. 3 are out of the house, and they still buy the products. The other one in the house will be married in June, and I still buy them for her. But in that 23 years of building this, I blessed a lot of lives like yours, and I know this can help you. And you know what I loved? In a month, if you don't like it, it's free. And if you do,
really?
Yeah. If you don't like it, it's free. It's a win-win situation. You have everything to gain, nothing to lose. So, let's meet for coffee. Does this sound like something you want to get more information about?
I do. It's very compelling what you're telling me. Wow.
Well, it is. And, I'll let you sample the product. I'll show you different options. You can save money coming in and, there's all different ways. But I'll be forever grateful to my friend, but more importantly, April, that I had the courage to say yes. So, kudos to you for saying yes, you want to sit down, because that's where I was 25 years ago. So, all right, what's your schedule look like to sit down over coffee or a drink at night? What are you doing tonight or tomorrow? And again, it's that sense of urgency, April. So You'll give me a date and I'll write it down and then we'll meet.
Okay, awesome. Tomorrow I'm open. Tomorrow, lunchtime or so?
That sounds good. 12, 2? Which is best?
Two.
Okay. All right, then we'll meet at that Dunkin' Donuts by your house at 2 o'clock. That sounds good. I look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks so much, Diane. We'll talk then. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Wow. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for walking us through that. Because I think sometimes we think, okay, this looks all good, but hearing someone like you that is just it has such a great system. I love how you're pointing out that, you're talking to them on the phone, you say, let's call back 15 minutes, you share your story and say, let's get into more details if this sounds interesting, and then set up a time to go through it more. Thank you so much. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Brenda, you want to take it for the next step? Brenda, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
I muted myself. Okay. Keep in mind, the purpose of Connect is to set up this next step, which is to share. And you want to share the Relive story. You want to share your story. You want to share your why. You want to share your belief, and you want to share from your heart. Again, share the whole Relive story. Talk about the products and talk about the business. You want to be honest and truthful. You want to share before Relive and after Relive. That, and part of it is, and for me too, I can't imagine not having the products. And there are a few do's and don'ts and stuff. So you can share a family story or someone else's story, but don't make any untrue claims. Don't get too specific with your health story. You want to let the more experienced person do a presentation. You could share your story, learn, then teach. Be prepared. And we're going to show you a couple of presentation tools here. And again, like I said with that, you want to introduce your upline because they're going to be there to support you and to help you. So look at these tools. This is from the Lifestyle magazine and from the blog. And there are stories, there are articles, there are things, and it's positive. I think that that's one of the things that we want to keep in mind is that we want to keep it positive. We want to find ways to connect, ways to share, and there's recipes. There's so much that Relive has for us that we are able to utilize and share. Okay, next slide. Okay,
here's another here's another option of how to share the different resources and the support that we get. On the left is one of our emails we got that Quada sent out that had a video about one of the success trainings we've had and reminding us the power of you. And then also on the right is a little sample of an event that we had here in Utah in January, a Hawaiian Relive dinner, where we also had a short Relive presentation afterwards. And we had new people there, and we had people bring food and stuff. And one other thing I wanted to represent with this slide is there's room for everybody in Relive. It's not like, oh, it's only this type of person that gets in Relive. There are families, moms and dads with kids. There are single parents. There are individuals who are professionals in the work environment. There are older people. There are people who are very active and passionate about getting out and doing outdoors activities. There are people who, have maybe some mobility issues that are limited, but that doesn't hold them back from doing the business and from being able to reach out and share. And so it's a wonderfully inclusive environment, and it has such great support for all of us as we are distributors, and help people to know that. And the next thing is share about the Relive Cologres Foundation. It's just such a heart of Relive. It was interesting. I was talking last week to my sister-in-law, and she was discussing a service project that her church and other groups in the community were doing to help support some girls in Nepal with some needs that they had. And they said the director of this particular charitable group and program came to speak to them. They had gathered a lot of supplies for these girls. And she says, you know, it was really interesting. She goes, April, I know you're into Relive. We got somebody on the line that isn't muted. If you are not muted, if you can star 6, I hear some background noise. Thank you. Anyway, she said that the director had indicated that along with the supplies that this particular group was donating to help these girls in their need, he said, you know, there's a Relive group that donates nutritional supplies. And she goes, April, I know you're into Relive. And I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I thought that was very interesting. And I thought, you know, I've talked to her about Relive, but I don't know that I've said anything about the Clovis Foundation. And I said, oh my goodness, what a blessing that this is for these individuals in areas that just really struggle. And so I'm sending her information about our Clovis Foundation. And here we've got some sample pictures of it, including Lauren Laird and Luann when Luann went to Malaysia. Just incredible blessings that we had. And I tried to explain to my sister-in-law, I said, you know, Relive doesn't just do, oh, here's some money towards some food, or here's a dump of products, hope things go well with you guys. We make a commitment to the people that are involved in this and help these children with these feeding stations or schools and help them as they go on through their growing up years. And so it's something to help them continue to grow. And we also help adults. You can see the picture in the lower center has a woman, for those that may not be able to have the computer called up, it has a woman who has a feeding tube or some kind of, a tube up her nose, and she's just skinny as all get out and just looking just horribly sick. This woman had AIDS, and below it there's a picture of her in a wheelchair lifting her hands up, huge smile. The difference in her vibrancy, even though she still had AIDS, was just incredible to see what some nutrition that the Clovis Foundation had provided and made a difference in her life, as well as here again making a difference in the lives of many, many children all around the world. What? There we go. Okay, here we go. Brenda?
Okay, so now that you have shared the story and stuff, it's time to ask for a decision. And when you ask for a decision, you want to ask the right question. So here we are prepared to do business. We have products and tools with us at all times. We have a Relive Super Pack. We have sales tools and things. We have a recommended order ready for each option: customer, distributor, master affiliate. And you want to be ready to help them register. Now, whether that is online or whether that is a paper application or through your personal website. Through your personal website, it's great because they're already connected to your RCN number. And go ahead and move the next slide. And Tom Pennick says the decision tool is like a menu. You just put it in front of them and they can point to the choice they want, whether it's product or whether it's business. Keep it simple. Okay, April.
Okay. So when you ask for a decision, you find out where they want to get started. Is products really what they're most interested in? And if so, let's ask questions, learn and listen. What are they looking for results with? What are they wanting? And look to maybe offer them a super pack is a great way to get started. Some people, though, are just really adamant that they really want a specific direction that they want to have help with. So look to personalize it for what they're looking at. But keep it simple. Don't say, oh, my goodness, we have this and this and this product, and, of course, you could do Fit 3, you could do this and this. You know, listen and kind of focus in a very simple way to tailor it to what they want. And then continue, you know, talk to them about how they can save on their products. It's interesting, I'm working with a particular customer right now, and I've mentioned that she's ordered a couple of different times, and I said, you know, I'd be happy to explain to you ways that you can save on the products. Interestingly enough, she hasn't picked up on that. Like, okay, if you want to buy it at retail, you know, I'm thinking that's fine. Maybe at some point she'll say, no, wait a second. Okay, I'm going to start buying this regularly. You said something about saving, in which case that I can help her, but I'm not going to force it on her. Right now, she is just laser focused on getting results, and she is okay with, you know, being at straight retail. And that's a totally awesome place to be for her. And as we go along and asking for decisions, it's important to bring up again, have you shared, your results with the people? If once somebody's gotten on the products, or before they get on the products, who do you know who maybe could also benefit from the Relive products? Now, maybe as you are talking to them, it becomes clear that the products are good, but what they're really, really needing is income, and that is really where their focus is. Then help them look about where they can get started. Look at the different profit options. I know that the company has recently changed things where all the profit options for business builders are at 20% for their profit level. And so, and then it goes up from there, of course, 25, 30, 35, up to 40 and stuff. And we can talk to them and see where they would like to get started. Sometimes it's easy to assume, well, they're probably not going to have that much money, so we'll just get them started as a quick start. Well, maybe they really would like to, put things together and shoot for master affiliate right off the beginning. And likewise, so don't undercut them. Just listen carefully as to where they are and what they want to do, and review the profit options and help them find the one that's the best fit for them. And whatever they select, say that is a great place to be, because that's what they're feeling good about at that time. And they can always, as we know, move up. And throughout that process, reach out to them and say, who else do you know that might be wanting to start a Relive business?
And then number 5, register and go. So you want to follow up with the consumers. You want to help them with the product. And so you want to give them ideas on how they can take it, figure out, again, have that sample order ready. And then educate them with stories. The stories are the things that people really relate to, connect with. And again, it's to keep it simple, And on day 1, you could say, did you take your shake today? Or you can say, are you taking the product? And I love what Kyla says, did you find the red scoop? Because then she knows there's no red scoop. And if they say, yes, I found it, she knows that they haven't started taking the product yet. And so, again, we want to kind of keep it light. We want to keep it fun. We want to keep it simple. And so then the next thing is to ask them, things like, are you consistent? And, oh, you switched slides on me.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Quite there yet. And then, you can ask what results are you seeing so far, but then sometimes then that gives them the option to say, oh, I haven't seen anything. And so this is when it's important to know your person. This is when you're building that relationship, because then you could say something, like, hey, are you sleeping better? Or, have you noticed this, or have you noticed that? Because what's been going on with them. And then the question is, who do you know, that could benefit from these products? And there's a business opportunity. Another thing to remember is to always schedule your next connection before you hang up. When are you going to get in touch with them next? Again, with registering, you've got the options. You've got the paper app that you can mail in or fax into the company. You can do relive.com join, but you want to make sure that they have your RCN number if they go through the main Relive website. Or the best way is to go through your personal website, because they're already linked to you. And once you have that, go ahead and
you got black shoulders and a white jersey.
We can hear someone. Could you please *6 and mute your line? Go ahead and change the slide, April.
Okay.
Thanks. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to set up your distributor to succeed, and you want to help them take immediate action. And what? Action when? Action now. So we've already talked about identify. Sure, build that list. Remember, we showed you the slide with 2 slides actually, with just some brain teasers on how to build that list. Connect. Who are you going to call first? And it's always nice to have someone at the ready that you're going to have available to connect or to share a story. And then let's set our first appointment. You want to also get them connected to the ICSAR guide so that they have that at their fingertips to study and to look. And again, remember I said earlier, learn, then teach. So you want to review the basics of how to run a Relive business. Ordering, registering people, navigating the relive.com. They get a distributor kit, relive.com/get started. Utilize your upline and distributor relations. Review the Relive system. When we were setting up for this training, I was looking through some of the tools that they have on Relive, and one of the things I found said, it was from Tom, what to do with the new distributor in the first 48 hours. It's really an excellent article. If you have new people that you're talking to, you might want to take a look at that. So, okay, thanks.
Great. So we know that Relive has a good system that kind of helps support us on all sides. And it's important to utilize all of it. If we are trying to only do presentations on our own and not plug into each of the other elements of the Relive system, we're losing out on such valuable information and such valuable support and help. So make sure you tap into each of these things. We have the daily activity with presentations in homes, 3-week calls working with our upline with trainings and webinars like we're doing today. And we can feed our new people into these activities and then also help them learn about, for instance, our corporate support that we get, our monthly podcast, our relive.com Get Started, the monthly product calls. And then along with that, there are special events. Now, there's local special events, and then there's also like regional special events for our business cycle. And those are just huge, because I know I went to an international conference right after I had been in Relive. We'd joined up maybe 2 weeks previously, and it was huge in building my wall of belief of seeing these people are for real. And like everyone I talked to has had these great results. This is absolutely amazing. It just really helps me solidify this is something that is so good and so wholesome. These people just look like regular, normal people off the street, but they've had amazing results, and both with health and with business. And so that's something that as a new person made a huge difference. So if you are new, I would so strongly recommend that you find a way to go to Relive Live. That's coming up in actually in like less than a month now. And even if you're not new, it is one of those things that gives you energy, and just if you walk away just so enthused, so excited, so full of new information, and that drive and saying, wow, I have just got to share this with everyone. So make sure you tap into that and also tap into each of the other ones. It's so key to be able to see the whole big system of support that Relive has for us. And make sure that you engage your team. Help them develop a library of stories, develop a library of stories yourself, so you can have from your upline and other distributors tools to be able to share with other people. And as Tom Pinnock had mentioned recently, Relive is a relationship business. It's something that's so important that as we work with our people that we're sponsoring, we build closer relationships with them. And as you build closer relationships with them, it will help build their strength. And that's how people become ambassadors. They've built strong relationships. They've learned the system. They'd be able to kind of move up the ranks and help them to be able to move themselves and others and on their downlines to be an ambassador. And make sure you stay engaged with what's going on with Relive. Oh my goodness, there's so much information out there with social media and text and blogs and webinars. However, just make sure that as much as you're plugging into it, that you're not spending all of your available time doing the training and none going out and reaching out to people, because you can't have a strong business if you've got all kinds of information going in, but you're not sharing that information with others around you to help you with their health, to help with their financial needs, and help them to see what Relive can do for them. And then make sure you set goals. for yourself and for those that you work with as your downline to stretch their thinking. Think, what will it take to make it to key director or whatever level that they're going for? Maybe they're a quick start and their goal is to be able to work their way up to where they can become a master affiliate. Whatever it is, help them to set those goals and help them as, to feel encouraged to take those steps along the way. Not just like, well, I want to do this. Okay, great. Well, how are we going to get there? So you can help them walk through that process. Brenda?
And duplicate. Again, follow-up. Follow-up's in the middle. And with, keep in mind, here's a couple of little tips. The products only work if you consume them. Always look for opportunities to show them more of Relive. And then when you're talking with your new person, you want to ask them, are you talking to anyone about Relive yet? You want to open the door to who they know. And again, with the follow-up, it's easier to keep the old customers than finding new ones. So who's next? Who's next? Who are you going to talk to? How many people are you going to talk to? You're going to talk to people today? What's your week look like? Are you setting your schedule? Are you setting goals? That's all part of Relive. Go ahead and do the next one. All right, so here you are. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. And that's a quote by Dr. Seuss. And for any of you that maybe didn't know, March 2nd was Dr. Seuss's birthday. And so let's go. Let's go. Let's get on our way. We have great places to go and things to do and people to talk to. Let's get on our way. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for our training this morning. We hope you found it beneficial. And good luck on your mountain wading and getting on your way, and hope you have a great Relive week. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you. You did a great job, ladies.
Stop the recording.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Great